Hi friends, and welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new here, hi, my name is T and I like to play The Sims. Today we are placing this family made by Glamour Darling, consisting of Angela Odell, who wants to be a lady of the knits, is a cat lady, a perfectionist and creative, and her husband Brian, who wants to become or is a freelance botanist, and their son Chase Odell, who is inspiring to become a best-selling author and is a genius and an art lover. And we are renovating the Sandtrap Flat House in Oasis Springs. And I was just kind of excited about that because the new kits came out the day I was doing this renovation. I had to wait a little because I live in the US, so for us it isn't released until, I don't know the exact time, but I feel like 3 or 4 p.m., something like that, late in the afternoon. So I had to wait a little, but that was okay. I really enjoy those new kits, the kitchen clutter kit and the restoration workshop kit. I haven't downloaded the Golden Years kit yet, which is a build and buy. No, it's not a build and buy. It's a creative sim kit. These are the build and buy kits. And they just make the kitchen and also the little workshop that you will see later, it just makes it feel more lived in. And I am so glad we finally have another option for utensils in the kitchen. I was never a big fan of the few that we have. I think one is the base game one, where it just looks like a cheap plastic holder or whatever you call it, where you have your cheap plastic utensils in it. And then the other one is more like a country kitchen, old style kind of mug almost, and then you have some utensils in there. But the new one in there actually is really nice. So I'm excited for those two kits, not just because of that, but I just, I feel like often it's the little things that make the game or the houses more lived in. And here I'm just figuring out the new layout of the house. Obviously with them having a teenage son, I felt like he needed his own room. So I'm trying to make it work, but I have to admit I cheated a little. Usually I try to keep it within the budget that is given to me by the game, which means that whenever I move in a family and I sell all the existing furniture and whatnot, I usually try to keep within the money that is left over at the end whenever I start over. But this time I just couldn't. I needed just a little bit more wiggle room in this house, as you will see later. I think it starts because now I'm really using the furniture that I feel like the family would like. I always, whenever I work out the plan of, where what goes, which room is going to be where, I just place down placement furniture, so I actually have enough room and it's not too large or too small, which sometimes would happen before. So I just use random furniture and just place it and then go in and really furnish it in a way that I feel like fits the family. And yes, as I said a minute ago, I just kind of felt like they needed a little bit more room in the kitchen. Whenever I started really furnishing the kitchen, I was like, there's no way I can put all this cool new stuff from the kit in this small kitchen. So I just gave them a little bit more money. I think I ended up adding like 5,000 or 6,000 simoleons. So it's not like huge, it's just a little bit. And I also feel like it's, realistic. They're both adults, they're not young adults, they're both adults. So I feel like they have at least a little bit more money than young adults that just move into their first starter home. So yeah, here we start with the kitchen. The kids' room, the teenagers' room is still a bit bare because I wanted to see what money is left over for any kind of decoration and stuff. So I kept it bare on purpose. Yeah, we will go back and give it a bit more character. So don't worry about that. And here I'm already, I'm furnishing and I'm like, yeah, okay, it's a bit small, a bit tight, but I'll make it work. And I think I then just filter by the kit, and then I realized this is not gonna work. So we just give them a little bit of money to use all, because I really wanted to use this. I don't even know what it is. Is it like a side table, like a working bench for the kitchen? I don't know, but I really wanted to use that. So I end up making the kitchen a little bit larger. And I really like those backsplash wall decals, decoration, whatever it is. They really, I don't know, it looks really nice, and it just is a nice touch and addition to the kitchen. And here we expand already a little bit. So much for doing realistic renovations, because nothing about that is realistic within the budget, because that can be very pricey in real life. But hey, every once in a while, I just want to step away from real life. That's what video games are for, isn't it? So here we have, and it's not even a humongously large kitchen, it's just a little bit. So I can put this in there, and I end up using it almost like an island in the middle of the kitchen, because I just feel like that's kind of where you would put it. So you can put your groceries there when you come home. You can put, like when you cook, you can put your utensils there, or any kind of pots or pans that you're gonna be using. Or you just line up all the food and spices that you're gonna need, and then just go from there. You know, you just do your prep work and then put it there. Or you open cereal boxes and all kinds of clutter items like I did in that game or in that build. I also really like the sink that came with it, with the little sponge laying in there. It's so realistic, because 9 out of 10 times if you walk into my kitchen, chances are the sponge is in the sink, because I just used it. So I think that's very realistic. And then we also use those paintings or wall decorations that come with it is very cute. That new set with the drying rack is I just really love this kit. It makes it so much more realistic. The hanging fruit basket, the grocery bag, those little jars that are full of whatever stuff that you need in the kitchen, spices, beans, dry pasta, whatever. It just is really nice, and I really enjoy building with it, and it makes the kitchens cute and lived in. And also those pictures that come with it are very nice. And here I'm also looking into the workshop restoration kit to see if there's anything we could also put in the kitchen, but I don't think I end up using anything in there, because it just didn't make much sense. And then I think, there's the other backsplash, I think, because the Love Struck also came with those, but they're very, bright in color, because it matches the world that came with the pack. So I really like the more nude and neutral colors that came with the new kit. And here we go on to the living room, which is going to be a living/kitchen area, and I also managed to put in a little desk area. I really like that wallpaper from Lovestruck, and I just got Lovestruck. I didn't buy it whenever it came out, because I just didn't. Like, I was like, this sounds fun, but I don't think I need it. Unlike the businesses and hobbies, I felt like I needed it right now, so I bought it whenever it was released. But all the Sims games are on sale right now. It is early May, so if you're watching this early May, there is a sale going on the Sims games and expansion packs, and I think it's up to, I don't know, 60, 70% maybe, I don't know. Lovestruck was 50% off, so instead of 40, it was 20. So if there's any expansion pack, game pack, whatever, that you have been waiting for, go check it out, because chances are it's on sale and you're saving money. So back to the build. I'm obviously using my favorite couch from the Book Nook kit and the matching armchairs. And then I often have problems finding coffee tables that I feel like are matching or realistic, because a lot of them just are really big, and I feel like couch tables or coffee tables, we call them couch tables in German, coffee tables are not, I mean, who wants to have a humongous coffee table, that takes up half the living room? No, we don't want that. So I'm just often using something that isn't technically a coffee table, but it still works out. Then I thought sliding doors to the outside makes sense, and putting that desk in that little nook that we have now, just, for video games or whatever, because a computer is always handy to have on the Sims. A little dining area, because with 3 Sims, they kind of need somewhere to sit down more officially than the couch. Also, I think that Angela would make sure that they all have proper dinner manners and table manners. I don't know why, but I feel like she's the kind of woman that would do that. And then I swap out I think it's a base game table for the Dream Home decorated table, I think. A little archway from the kitchen to and I think this rounded archway came actually with, I think it came with Love Struck. Sorry, I was about to say it came with the kitchen clutter, but it didn't. It came with Love Struck. And obviously I needed doors, and I also realized I haven't placed any windows yet. And considering I only have 5,000 simoleons left, and I still need to furnish the small bedroom from, for the parents and the bathroom, and I still have to build the workshop, that might be tight. So we'll see. There's obviously not enough room there for them to have a real side table, so I just use wall lights and some shelves for them to put their stuff, like mugs and a book or whatnot. But it works. They're like, we just take the smaller room so our son can have the larger bedroom, and I feel like the kids' room is larger. Oh well. Just putting in the matching wardrobe and some clutter items again, and some plants. But yeah, I really enjoy those kits lately. I've never been a huge fan of kits, and up until like a few months ago, I was not buying them, and I just always got them when they were free, because every once in a while, for a short time, it's free. But recently, here it's the sleek bathroom kit that was released a few weeks ago. It's just, I feel like those kits are really stepping up to be a lot better than what they used to be. And I feel like a lot of them are, justifying the $5 that it costs, at least in my country. They're $5 each, which I think is fine if you just want to treat yourself to a little bit and not spend the $40 on a whole expansion pack. But I really feel like they have really stepped up their game in the kids department. But then, that being said, I also feel like that stuff packs and game packs are basically being completely neglected. But yeah, we'll see what the Sims future holds for us. I hope it's gonna be something exciting. I don't even know what I would like to see in the game. Honestly, I'm not a person that likes to play with occults or fairies or witches or vampires. I have most of those stuff packs. I don't have the werewolf, I think. But I have vampires, and what else was there? I don't have life and death, but I can already tell you I'm not going to play with ghosts whenever I buy that. Because I'm just not that kind of person. So I feel like whenever they release those packs, I'm always like, yeah, okay, not for me, but I'm glad there's other people that love it. So, you do you, boo. So yeah, I don't even know what I would really like to see. Maybe more different kinds of careers, how to make money. I don't know if I need active careers, although those are fun. Maybe some more active careers like get to work. That might be fun, where you just go with your sim to work. And it also has to be less repetitive, but then I'm not a game developer, and I don't know how difficult that would be. So I guess I'll just wait and see what the Sims team comes up with in the future. And here, as promised, we go back to Chase, I think his name is, Chase's room, to just add a little bit of more character. And he's a teenage boy, he's gonna have posters, he's gonna have, I didn't want those pictures to me screamed Joe Goldberg. No, I didn't want to have that vibe with him. But some posters, and he wants to be a gamer, and he wants to start streaming. Obviously, family is like, no, we're not going to spend that kind of money. If you want that, mister, you need to get a job. But he has all those posters, and just, you know, teenage things. And that being said, I would also hang up a Sims poster from the good old days, so it's not just for teenagers. And then we go outside, and here I forgot to record the first time I built that, so I just unbuilt it and just kind of quickly did the redo button build, because I wanted it to be in the video. And it's just a basic small little shed with all the things from the kit in there, and then a cute little outside area where they would be able to barbecue, maybe lounge in that little kiddie's pool that's probably still a leftover piece from their son's childhood, and a little sitting area in the front. And I just feel like that Angela would be a little bit, at least, not entirely, but a little bit into gardening, maybe plant some herbs that she uses whenever she's cooking her meals in her kitchen. And you know, just a little bit, not crazy, but a little bit, like basil and stuff, and you know, just a little, so she can have the freshest ingredients for the meals that she makes for her family. And then we just add a few lights around this little herb garden, or whatever they call it on the game. And I also, because as you can see, I have like 129 simoleons left, I'm selling all those bushes and plants that were placed by whoever built that whenever the game was released. And I replace it by, I think it's the builds show hidden objects cheat, where you just use the free plans that don't cost a dime to just decorate the outside of your house, so it looks more realistic and blends in better with the surrounding area. And as you can see, from selling all of that, I went from 130 to 620 almost. So it really does make a difference that whenever you use the free plants or the free decoration for outside instead of the decoration that you have to pay for. But yeah, let me know what you think about the recent kits, or kits in general, and what you would like to see on The Sims in the future. And not just cars, just let me know, because I would like to know what you all are looking forward to. And thank you for joining my video, my channel, and listening to me yapping. If you want more of that, comment, like, subscribe, and I hope I'll see you soon in one of my next videos. Bye!